Hey guys, welcome to a bit of a homeschool check-in. It's been a few weeks since I shared a video and we've been using some really great resources that I want to share with you. I'm thinking about next year's homeschool plan. Want to share a few ideas in regards to that. The school year here, the traditional public school system, goes from September to June. I know some, especially like American states, some people start school really early and are like sharing their curriculum picks already for next year. I'm not there yet. We have a week off next week because we are following the public school calendar this year since I have a kid in first grade in school, and so we're following that, and I want to take my week next week to nail down our plans for next year. So that should be coming pretty soon, but I'm not ready to share stuff yet. I'm still researching tons of things. So I thought I would just share a little brief overview of some things that are going really well. This year, my plan, my hope for my 6th grader was to get him working more independently. And we tried the good and the beautiful. It was kind of for that purpose, but kind of also not. And I needed to be there like every step of the way for the language arts and the math. And we have been doing this kind of, I don't know, I have a bit of a checklist for him each day, and things are working so much better. If you guys would be interested in a little bit of a homeschool day in the life vlog, let me know. I've been thinking of filming one, but they're quite a bit of work, so I don't really want to do it if people don't want to see it. So if you want more details on what the day actually looks like, what his list looks like, etc., let me know so I could do that for you. So he has a list and he has been working so much more independently. There are still some things that we are working on together, but I am loving this list. It's not the first time we've done this, but I just feel like it's a little bit more of a thought out list than some other times, and it's working really well. So a couple of resources I want to share. If you are signed up for my newsletter, which is always linked down below, some of these I shared in my last newsletter a couple weeks ago, but most of these I haven't. The first thing I want to say is perler beads, because my older two kids never got into this. My youngest all of a sudden is going hard. We bought a huge bin of 23,000 beads about a month ago, maybe? I don't think it was even a month ago. And I'm pretty sure we are like 10,000 beads into this, and it's mostly her. All of us have done a creation. Even I did a creation myself. I totally jumped on the bandwagon, made this jar with mushrooms in it that was actually, I think it's a cross stitch pattern, but I used it for this. My bigger kids did it. The first grader has done it, and the 4-year-old. She has made so many creations. It's crazy. Like, I'm ironing things all the time. My iron has never been used this much, and it's all thanks to perler beads. So I bought, it's actually an off-brand. I don't even know what I bought, what the name is, but I'll leave it linked below. I bought the big bin of them, and then I bought some additional boards so that there's different shapes and things, and oh, so many creations. It's so cool to see the creativity, and even being able to follow directions on some of the ones that have patterns, and then just coming up with her own. And it's also a really good thing for kids to do when you're working with other kids and you need them to be entertained or at least a little quiet so that you can have a conversation with someone. Really, really highly recommend that. Another thing we've been doing for the last few weeks, I came across this on Heather's channel. Why am I blanking on her channel name? Raising Arrow's Mama. I'll have her linked below as well. And she mentioned this, I don't know if it was in a video or if it was on one of her blog posts, but for current events, we've started watching the channel World A to Z, I think it is. And it has current events. Every day has like a 10-minute video with current events on this day in history, a little bit of geography kind of thrown in there, a bunch of different random things, and we are loving it. So they have one coming out every Monday through Friday, and I'm always kind of disappointed when it's a weekend because there's not a new one coming out. Next week on our week off, we're still going to be watching that every day. It's been great for history, for geography, for, you know, news, current events. Really enjoying that. Recommend checking out their channel and subscribing and watching it every day. And then what else? Oh yeah, I really wanted to talk about Learn Math Fast, because we just barely hit 1 year of using this. We have never stuck with any kind of curriculum for even like 3 months, really. So the fact that we've been using this for a year is just mind-blowing, and obviously it means something, right? I got my older 2 kids to start with volume 1 a year ago. Now my 6th grader is on volume 2, which is my personal least favorite because it's mostly fractions, and fractions are annoying, but we're getting through it. And my 9th grader is just finishing book 4. We will be starting book 5 right away. So we already own 5 out of the 7 volumes. It's super simply explained math. I do have a review video where I share like inside volume 1. I will probably do another review video soon talking about some of the other volumes. A cool thing that I didn't know when I did that video is, so volume 1 has, where is it here? At the end of volume 1, they go into US measurements. So when we got here with my oldest, then I printed out some pages with the metric system, since we're in Canada and we don't use imperial measurements. So we just did it on our own. But now I've learned that at the end of volume 4, they actually do have the metric system in there. So if you are from a country that has that as their standard measurement, know that it is covered. So yeah, we're really liking it. It isn't, I don't know, she isn't completely boring. She shares tips on how to like remember things easier, and I appreciate that. It is a little bland. You don't, you know, get a lot of the extras that you would get with normal math, but that's kind of why I love it. This will lead me into my next thing, which is teach your child to read in 100 easy lessons. I'm just finishing this now with my 1st grader, and it's been so great. I've talked before, actually that might have been on my personal channel, with the school readers they send home. I'm like, how is this supposed to help a kid to read? So we have just been doing our own thing. Teach your child to read in 100 easy lessons is also a pretty dry thing, but we try to make it fun, and it works. This is my 3rd kid, and 2 of which have had some kind of learning difficulties, and it works. It works really well. As soon as we're done with the 1st grader, I'm going to be jumping in with the 4-year-old. The 1st grader, yeah, has a few lessons left. We go till about lesson 85. I don't find that we need to go beyond that, but we've been reading some Elephant and Piggy books, or he has been reading them, and like that's the sweet spot when they realize all the learning that they've been doing means they can read actual books, or read out in the wild. You know, you're at a store and they're trying to read things, and we are there right now. So that's a lot of fun. I'm excited for the 4-year-old to get to that part as well. What else do I have here? Trial and Triumph. This is a book that has stories from church history. I bought this a year ago. We read a couple chapters, a couple people, and it kind of just fell off the wagon, as one tends to do, especially because we moved. We picked this back up and we've been reading a chapter a week. I might increase that pace at some point yet, and it's really good. They're just very brief biographies of people in church history. It worked out really well that we were reading about Patrick right before St. Patrick's Day, so that lined up without me trying to make it do so. And we also got the audiobook from Audible, because I got it this last week because my throat has been, I've been like not getting sick, but like losing my voice and stuff. So I was like, well, I can't read the chapter this week. So I got the Audible version and we listened to it. And I think we'll kind of like go back and forth between me reading it and having Audible read it. Definitely recommend this for church history. I'm reading it with my 6th grader. My 9th grader has never read it, and I would like her to. I think it's maybe a little simplistic for her, but because we haven't done anything before, I think it's a good place to start. I mentioned this in my newsletter whenever I sent it out as well, Myrtle. Okay, if you guys, I don't know, I feel like maybe some people have seen this floating around. There's 4 or 5 volumes out now already. These are deductive reasoning, what are they, like puzzles, that's the word, where you have a mystery, you have the people, you have the locations, you have the weapons, and you have to figure out, based on the clues and evidence, who done it, where they done it, and what they done it with. And as we were like digging more into the Charlotte Mason stuff, I kind of came across logic and how a lot of people do deductive reasoning stuff for logic. And I was like, hey, I have this book that I think will work perfectly. And I'm doing it with my 6th grader, and he is loving it. Many days I only have it on the schedule for every other day. And the days where there's no logic, he's disappointed. And when we do it, he wants to do more, like do another one. And so I've been letting him. And it's really cool because each of the mysteries is kind of telling a story. So they kind of all play off of each other. So I wouldn't recommend skipping around because it's a story. And we follow this guy named Deductive Logico, for deductive reasoning, detective Logico. And he stumbles across a mystery right from the beginning, and he's constantly solving them, really liking it. I have noticed just when I've randomly flipped through that there are a few spots, well, even some of the stuff that we've gone over already. There's a few, what am I trying to say here? There's a few things that are like, okay, this was written for adults. Like one of the last ones we did, there was a hotel that provides amenities, including charging by the hour. This is just going above my 11-year-old's head, so that's great. So there's a few things like that that are implying some things that are maybe like a little bit more adult content wise, but like quite minor, and he's not noticing it. So yeah, we're going through this. It does get harder. So it starts out, how many levels are there? I don't know how. There's elementary, medium, hard-boiled, impossible, and then hints and solutions and stuff. So by the end, are they 2-pagers? Oh, they are 2-pagers, and you got like this huge table to fill out. So we'll see if we can get there. There are, like I said, multiple volumes, and I'm assuming they all have like the same levels, so we could get volume 2 and do the elementary ones from there maybe. Definitely recommend this. Another thing, this one is just something that I've been reading and would recommend so far. I'm halfway through. I'm currently reading The Mythmakers, which is the remarkable fellowship of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien by John Hendricks. He wrote The Faithful Spy, which is the story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and he writes them, oh, first of all, look at that hardcover, that's so beautiful. He writes them so they're part graphic novel and part text, and it's just such a interactive and interesting, and there's a word I'm looking for, but am I gonna think of it? It's just an attention grabbing way to read about people from history. I hope he just keeps making tons of these. Yeah, so I'm halfway through. I am going to be making sure that both my older kids read this soon once I'm done, because it's just so well done and such an interesting format. Very briefly, a couple things that we have been doing quite a bit of lately include game schooling, which is like playing games, and a lot of games have like hidden math and things, so that's been fun. One of the things that we've probably played the most lately is Dutch Blitz. Played a lot of rounds of that. We started doing Theology Thursday, which was my husband's idea. So every Thursday at 11 o'clock, he is picking a little video for us to watch. So the first few weeks, we watched the first 2 videos by Apologetics Canada is doing a series on, I think it's called Can I Trust the Bible? They have 2 episodes out now and more are coming. So we're watching that. They're really good. Definitely recommend them. I'll have it all linked below as well. Yeah, and then this week, Thursday, we watched a video by Gavin Ortland. It was something about heaven. I don't remember what the title was. but I will leave that one linked below as well. And that's been really good. I think I will share our like last few that we've watched recently over on my newsletter as I send it out. So if you want to hear more recommendations there, make sure you're signed up. We've also gotten back into poetry tea time. We've been doing it on Fridays because Friday is our no school day, but it gives us something to do on Friday. This morning I made a fruit crisp and we read a bunch of different poems from a bunch of different books. It was wonderful. I love that. And the kids like to make hot drinks, and sometimes I do too. Feeling like I'm gonna need one now. What else? Oh, we just got a 3D printer this week. So I'm not gonna say too much yet because we haven't used it a ton, but I think this is gonna be a really cool resource. So stay tuned for sure for that. I think that's all I have for now for like things that we're loving in the moment, but a couple things for next year. So I'm in the vision planning stage. I have a free vision planner that you can download. I don't think I have it over on Substack yet, so I'll make sure it's up either by the time this video goes up or shortly after. If you don't have that, you can download it. I kind of walk you through thinking through this last year and planning for next year and stuff like that. And so I'm in the process of doing that myself. I know we are going to be much more in the Charlotte Mason area. Philosophy, definitely not exclusively purely Charlotte Mason. There will be some other little bits of philosophies floating in there, but we're really going to get into reading even more good books, which is great because that's what we love to do anyway. And doing some notebooking and narration and just all those fun Charlotte Mason things, really. And I've been working on creating book lists, and I mentioned, I think in my last video, about sharing what I create for different grades as far as Charlotte Mason stuff goes. So kind of having like your subjects and then the resources that we're using for each. I'm working on that. Definitely that's what my next week is hopefully going to be, is a lot of nailing things down for next year. I have a lot of like loose ideas that are kind of floating around, and I need to figure out, okay, which ones are the ones we are like sticking with. I have been requesting a bunch of books from the library, trying to proof books. I will say that for history for next year, we're planning on covering 1900 to 1950. If you guys have some either nonfiction or historical fiction, like really good recommendations for that time, let me know, because there's so many and it's a little overwhelming. I've read a bunch. I do have a lot of good recommendations that I've loved, but maybe you guys have some great ones as well that we need to pull in. I think that's all for today. Like I said, let me know if you are interested in a homeschool day in the life vlog, and hopefully I will be sharing our curriculum picks in the next few weeks here. If you guys have some of that stuff nailed down, I would love to hear what you guys will be doing and using. Thanks for hanging out with me.